Hello everyone. Hello anyone. Today I'm playing Ages of Conflict World War Simulator. I've played this a couple times now, and it seems like every time I make a video, they want to release an update. It hasn't failed. It's happened both times now, and this time they've added not maps. They already had maps. They added flags, I believe. I'm not sure what else they added, but that's like the main thing. Last time, I think we did the world maps, where like we did the big one. This time around, we're going to do the 1938 one. Anyways, without further ado, let's get straight into it. All I did was press space, and we are already seeing wars taking off. So let me get a look at this area. We have West Africa. Here you go. You can actually see they have flags now. I'm not going to count each and every pixel, but I'm pretty sure all 50 states didn't exist in 1938. Yeah, look at this. Alaska is just a territory. It's got the Alaskan flag. What about Hawaii? Yeah, same with Hawaii. Did they become puppets by chance? No, there's no way. There's no way that Hawaii and Alaska just happened to become puppets of the United States just like that. There's no way. That had to be like preset. We have the Falklands down here as its own little thing. That's pretty cool. What in the world? Buchatanland? Bechuanaland. However you pronounce it. I think I said it right. I don't know. That's a place. Looks like it belongs to the... Oh, you know what? So then the United Kingdom, they ought to have a lot of... Yeah, there's no way. So all of these in the red kind of slash through. If it's red, they belong to the United Kingdom. I thought if I went to Alliance, yeah, Alliance also shows it. They belong to the United Kingdom, and so the United Kingdom has a lot of colonies to work with. Wow, look at that! Look how much money they get too. That is something. How much money do I even have the settings right now? I didn't even. Oops, I didn't even check that. All right, there we go. I actually made the settings proper. I forgot I had them changed a while back. So now things should be working properly, as in, I think a few things can happen now, like they can set up cores, I think they can take territory from puppets now. I had alliances on, but I had it set to an extreme number, like 20, up to 20 nations per alliance. That's a little excessive. It's fun, but a little excessive. We should be focusing on Europe. There's like a lot of historical nations here. We have Yugoslavia in here. Czechoslovakia is in here. We have nationalist Spain in here. And Republican Spain. I forgot they were kind of split apart like that. There's just so much like yellow that flashes on the screen every time they gotta like donate to the United Kingdom. I turned off maximum gold. If we didn't turn off maximum gold, the United Kingdom was probably gonna win this. They would be the richest by far if we didn't set a cap on their gold. There's a lot of Chinese countries in here that definitely don't exist now. We have Tibet, for example. I thought they always had a really cool flag. Menjiang. We have China here. Wow, I am not used to these different colors. Provisional China. Shanghai. They have the same flag though. Guangxi. Indochina. Siam. It was Burma. Dutch East Indies. Oh wait, that was before it became Indonesia. So that, I'm pretty sure, belongs to the yeah, it even says right here, the Netherlands. We have New Guinea, but it's still under colonial power. South Seas Mandate belongs to Japan. This place, New Hebrides? Looks like it's split between, if I had to guess from the flag, it says France here, but I'm assuming it's like split between, historically, between the United Kingdom as well. We'll see if the European powers, with all their colonies, will be able to win this. I'm not too positive. What is this over here? Well, I have Palestine in here. Transjordan. I don't know anything about what the Middle East looked like at this point in time. Cameroon, is that, if that's how you say it, equatorial, that's how you say it. Equatorial Africa. National Spain has absolutely poured into it. I have not been like keeping track of what's going on. I've just been reading all of the new nations. I mean, National Spain has definitely made its presence known in Africa. So has France, though. And I mean, even the nation of France doesn't, or Spain necessarily has to get in here much, because they still have all these colonies that can just kind of do the work for them. Obviously, they have India right now, and that's probably going to be quite some help with trying to tackle this beast that is Asia itself. In order for them to really win this, they were gonna... I think that was Estonia that just disappeared. In order for them to win this, they're gonna have to, like, actually take full ownership of their colonies. And then on top of that, they actually gotta, like, defeat all these other nations. And we've got, like, the Soviet Union here. This is interesting, by the way. Newfoundland is, like, a separate place. This is British Guyana. So quite a little different from today. We have Suriname. I think these flags are so cool. These are, like I said, these were added in the latest update. You can actually make your own flag or edit it. What is this place? Tanganyika? Maybe that's what that is. Zanzibar. The flag is just pure red. There is literally nothing but just red. Isn't this like where the shortest war in history happened, where it was like 8 seconds or something dumb like that? I think that's right. Right now it's kind of looking historically accurate. Japan is digging its way into China. They didn't really do that with the Soviet Union, I don't think, but historically here they would have gone into China as well as the Korean Peninsula, and that is kind of what we're seeing. If this is going to be historically accurate, though, China's eventually going to, well, become a lot bigger. They're gonna take out Tibet. I didn't even notice, like, some of these places. They're very, very small. We have North Borneo. We have, some of these are cities. Sarawak? The United Kingdom. Wait a minute. Wait, I know how this is happening. I forgot. So, like I was saying, the puppets, if they want to, like, do well, they gotta actually claim territory from the puppets. So that's how Portugal has gone down here. This used to be a nation, but it was under Portuguese control. And so from that point on, they just eventually took it over completely. And that's what's happening kind of across the board. Over in what would be India, there's for some reason a blob of the United Kingdom. It's because they just randomly decided to take this territory. And as you can see, they just took another chunk. Who owns this up here? Denmark. Oh, it's not even Greenland yet. A lot happened in America that I just didn't notice. First off, Mexico is pretty much non-existent, but it's under American control. And it looks like Mexico is completely gone now. Windward Islands. I don't recognize that. Oh, that must just be a combination of all the islands, I'm guessing. Looks like France, for the most part, seems to have the majority control of Africa. The United Kingdom is about gone. They definitely have the most puppet control in Africa, but in terms of just straight up territory, it's definitely France. I'm not sure how Liberia has managed to... Oh, Liberia is still here because they've managed to form an alliance with Spain and France. While I'm sort of just rambling on, I'll go ahead and tell you some pretty cool news that happened to me. I have officially hit 100 subscribers. I think I'm a little... Actually, I am, as of recording this right now, a little higher than 100. As in 101. Regardless, though, I did not think I would actually ever hit that number. It just kind of seemed unreachable. And I know it's just 100 subscribers, but it's still pretty cool to me. I figured while I'm on the topic, I just wanted to thank you guys for actually watching my videos. Whether you're subscribed or not, I genuinely do not care if you are subscribed or not. As long as you've watched my videos and you actually somehow enjoy them, that's all that really matters to me. And Egypt is gone. You know, this is a little unfair for Palestine. They never really got a chance to do much, did they? They're under puppet control by the United Kingdom. Well, that's probably why. I think they've been spared, though, from actually getting conquered just because of how small they are. It looks like Denmark has now... I think Denmark is just... No, Denmark is still here. They're under French control now. The United Kingdom still has, like, a crap ton of puppets to work with. With that said, France does have Denmark, along with a few other puppets. What is this place down here? Reunion? Is it actually just called... Reunion? Surely not. I've got to be pronouncing that wrong. I don't think any... Oh, well, Alaska and Hawaii are now part of the United States. What year is it? The year is 2130. I should probably speed things up a little bit if we want to see a winner by the end of the video. I hate this blotch of Finland up here. I really don't like it. Norway is making a... Jesus. I hate the zooming in this game. Norway has made what I would call a significant push into Europe. You know, it's a good thing France has a good chunk of Africa. It's not really that big of a deal if they lose Europe. And where is the United Kingdom? The United Kingdom is so all over the place. Where is even the capital at? The capital is in Cyprus? Did they somehow... Yeah, I think so. Hold on, I think I need to turn the UI off. They've got like part of this island. They took one half of it and just put their capital there. The rest of it is Cyprus. You know, I was talking about Norway making a big push, but Norway actually does not exist anymore. I'm not sure what quite happened. Was it Finland? No. Was it France? No. Was it the United Kingdom? Somehow that little sliver of the United Kingdom that was in Scandinavia, if you noticed earlier, somehow that was responsible for the downfall of Norway. Evidently, the nationalist Spain is doing a lot better than Republican Spain. But what's good news, though, is that they've allied. The United Kingdom is trying to make more official territory of Africa. France still has quite a stronghold in here. It looks like the Soviet Union finally did something, and that was split China and Japan in half. They've also made their way into the Middle East. The United Kingdom has the majority of what would be India today now, although they've done just a very sloppy job of splitting it apart. At this point, I would assume they're calling these like individual states, because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I don't know if you count the islands, but 5 like different segments. You know, I haven't checked on South America like ever, and it looks like the majority of South America is Brazil, which, I mean, if we're kind of being realistic, it already kind of was like that, or is like that. They did combine with Chile at some point, and that's why the name is Brazil-Chile. Bolivia is... I feel like this happened last time, or was it Peru? They decided to spare Bolivia, and they've completely surrounded it. They might have given them a little bit of access to the ocean. Other than that, they've surrounded them. So, you know, it's a good thing they became allies, or else they'd have quite the force to fight. United Kingdom owns this little sliver down here in South America. The Falklands, obviously, they still belong to the United Kingdom. Not much is going to change if they claim territory to the Falklands. I think what happened in this specific scenario, I think the Falklands actually invaded, and then the United Kingdom was like, oh, you know what? That was pretty cool you did that for us. So we're just going to go ahead and, you know, all those soldiers you used, they went to good use because we're going to just take that territory from you, and that's what they did here. There's not much left of the Caribbean. You've got Haiti, you've got United States, Dominican Republic. Brazil has a few of these islands. You've got Costa Rica. I mean, that's pretty much it, and a lot of these places are aligned. They're allied. What is this over here? Denmark. How much of Denmark is left? Pretty much just Greenland and maybe a little bit of Canada that they've taken over. We still have the Spains here. We still have Portugal. How much is Portugal? Not much. It looks like they lost whatever this area was to France at some point. Looks like they've kind of just been stuck with their original territory. They did get a little bit of... I forgot what this area of Canada is called. They got a little bit of that, and you know, a couple islands, that's about it. France still has, if not maybe even better of a hold in Africa. They do have South Africa that they're gonna have to go after at some point. It's grown quite large. The United Kingdom is actually... it's actually made itself a competitor in Africa now. It used to be just a bunch of like puppets, a bunch of territories. They've since taken a lot of those. They still have Sudan, Kenya, they still have those to work with. It looks like the United Kingdom may be the main controller, like the legitimate controller of Africa now. We started with like 170 nations, I think, and now we have only 30. At some point, Australia, New Zealand united. That isn't too shocking to me. I think the Soviet Union finally decided that it needed to wake up. They've gotten rid of China. It looks like they're now going to try to, at some point, take over the rest of Asia. They've got the United Kingdom. They got a lot of the United Kingdom to go through. They've also got to deal with Japan. But other than that, like, if they can somehow push through all of that, the Soviet Union ought to be in the lead still. Correct. They're in the lead by a long shot. I don't know. It's looking kind of grim though. Like the United Kingdom is just a massive blob, and they've pushed back everything else. Yeah, look at that. They just got rid of Sudan. Yikes. You know, despite all of that, it's still like it's barely larger than Canada. Although Canada hasn't particularly done much other than invade a bit into the United States. They've been relatively quiet in this simulation. I'm shocked to see Greece still here, but it's because they united with everyone else. They don't have to fight any nearby nations, at least hopefully. If another, I don't know, like enemy alliance comes in, that changes things a little bit. For the time being, they look to be relatively safe. The Soviet Union has made France, Republic, and Spain a puppet now, as well as Japan. Okay, wow. You know, things can still change, of course. Things can always change. But as I see it right now, I kind of don't see the Soviet Union not winning this. They've got, like, they're gonna have to go against the United Kingdom, but, like, just look at the sheer size of territory. Canada has made the United States a puppet. They have, although they are fighting. Nope, yeah, look at that. They have... Wait, no. I got that a little wrong. Oh, no. Okay, it looks like the Soviet Union has made the United States a puppet. Yikes, that is... Yikes. Yikes. That gives the Soviet Union a lot of power to work with. You can look at all of the red hashed area, I guess, and then all of the red here. Although the United Kingdom is like the lighter red, so it makes it a little confusing. But look at how much that the Soviet Union has to work with. They've got North America. They've got a significant chunk of Asia. They're trying to get into the Middle East. It looks like they did. They've got a little bit of Europe, though that's not necessarily them, I don't think. Although, what is this up here? The Soviet Union has somehow also managed... Oh, it's because they have... And it's because France is a puppet of the Soviet Union as well. I don't think there's a number limit as to how many puppets a nation can have. I can't imagine that it just goes forever. There's got to be a limit. So if there is a limit, then the Soviet Union has just managed to, I think, play its cards right. They're getting a little bit into Canada. It is important to remember, of course, that just because they have control over the United States, that's technically not their territory just yet. They still got to actually conquer the thing, whether they do that by force or slowly integrating. I think it's worth mentioning that the whole continent of South America here is pretty much untouched. They've pushed back the Falklands that are down here. They finally became British controlled, and it looks like they also integrated Bolivia at some point. So this whole South American continent is now Brazil. It's the only continent that has, well, there is Australia, but other than that, it is the only continent that is just under one nation. Statistics wise, the United Kingdom has really made quite the advance towards first place. Looks like Portugal joined with Canada, which didn't really seem to make a difference because the United Kingdom kind of took what Portuguese territory there was. Really, this looks to be a matchup between the Soviet Union and the United Kingdom right now, and it kind of looks like, just the trend that it's going on right now, it does look like the Brits are winning. They're not in the lead just yet. This little bit of France, actually, is this the only bit of France? France is almost gone completely. They've got these like islands down here, this little chunk in Africa, and a little bit of Greenland. It might be a while until they disappear still, because they're just spread all over the place. We're getting to the point to where my game is just going to start lagging really badly now. With each and every war, Britain has been making just even more and more pushes into the Soviet Union. Although I say that, it looks like the opposite is now happening. It looks like, actually, it looks like they're kind of at a stalemate at the moment. We still have South Africa here. Oh my god, my frame rate. We still have South Africa down here. South Africa still exists despite everything that's happened. Probably because they've allied with the Soviet Union. The smaller nations just want to align with the bigger nations for their own survival. I think their chances of winning this are just so low that they shouldn't even consider anymore. They should be more concerned with just straight up survival and depending on these bigger nations for survival. The Soviet Union has renamed to the Soviet Union Turkey, which simply means that the Soviet Union, or rather Turkey, has combined with the Soviet Union. I'm gonna try not to zoom in anymore, because if I zoom in, it just shoots me all over the place. It is pretty much impossible to control. To my surprise, Saudi Arabia still exists. They're allied with the United Kingdom. I think Latvia's flag is pretty interesting. You don't ever see this shade of, is it burgundy? They are allied with the Soviet Union. Dude, it is so hard to control. It is... what is our frame? Our frame rate is sometimes less than 10. It's not very ideal, is it? It's especially not ideal when I record in 60 frames a second and then you're just watching 10 frames a second. To my surprise, it looks like Japan still exists. The question more so, though, is how long are they going to exist for? And then I haven't talked about Australia, New Zealand much. They have not... I mean, like, it says they fought 61 wars. It just doesn't look like much, because it's mainly islands that they fought against. Oh, but the Australia is a puppet to the Soviet Union. Everyone is a puppet to the Soviet... Everyone is a puppet at this point. Everyone is just a puppet. And that is the truth of the matter. You're either a puppet or you are not a puppet. You gotta choose one. I don't even think necessarily speeding it up is causing the lag. I'm pretty sure it's just lagging regardless. Like, I could have it at the slowest speed, which is half of, like, normal speed. And I'm pretty sure that it would still... Wait, no, okay, actually, my bad. It actually performs better when you don't speed it up. But you see how slow this is? That's way too slow, though. We're going slower than normal speed. I can't do that. Canada making a massive push into the United States. They kind of need to, if they want to try to win this, they kind of need to just get the United States done with at this point. With the United Kingdom, they need to do that same kind of thing with South Africa and just go ahead and conquer nationalist Spain. Despite everything that has happened, the Soviet Union is still in the lead. What's this down here? Oh, it's a random chunk of Brazil. I do not know how they got there. I can only guess that they got a puppet or something and just took it over from that point. I've got it to max speed now. Last time I did an Age of Conflicts video, the video didn't have a clear winner. It became a stalemate between three nations, and I don't even remember who won, but it became a stalemate between three nations, and I don't necessarily want that to happen again. I would like there to be a clear winner, so I'm going to speed it up. We've got 11 nations left. At this point, I'm probably just going to let the simulation run until there is a real winner. Because until then, it's going to be pretty much a back and forth. I noticed that Latvia no longer exists. We still have Saudi Arabia. We still have pretty much the islands of France. We still have South Africa. We still have the whole continent of Brazil now. And we still have a little bit of Japan left. Other than that, it's pretty much, what, the United Kingdom against the Soviet Union? That's pretty much the main match here. Because I know we still have Canada. I know we still have the United States. I know we still have Australia. They're all under puppet control, though. That's the issue. They're not really in control of their fate. The Soviet Union is. Canada is actually independent, so Canada, I guess you could still consider that Canada is in this. I have my doubts, though. We are now down to the top 10 nations. I'm not sure who we just lost, to be honest. I'm not sure what's going on here either. Oh, the Soviet Union. Oh, wow, the Soviet Union. I don't know how they've made these big nations into puppets. They have taken Brazil as a puppet of their own. So the United States and Brazil and Australia are all puppets of the Soviet Union. Look at this. I wish I could move around. I would be moving around right now You know, I'd be showing you the cities, because each city is named here. But just look at the performance here. This is just, and I don't want to slow it down either, but this is like, it's literally unplayable when a war starts. It is terrible. In all fairness though, like I said, like I'm running this at 5 times speed, so that's expected, but I don't want to slow it down because I don't know, I've had it just on 5 times speed for 10 minutes now, and something that is kind of important to note here, wow, they have a lot more money. I think there is a cap as to how much money you can have. You can make it to where they can't have unlimited money. Like at some point they eventually just can't earn. Like the game sets a certain cap. I think the cap is somewhat based on how big a nation is. So that's why the Soviet Union is at like 20k when the United Kingdom is also at 20k. But yeah, that's something to note here, because if they go to war for long enough, then eventually one side might run out of money. I don't think that's going to happen now because they have so much money. In Age of Conflicts World War Simulator, if you run out of money, you run out of fighting force. And so at that point, any other nation, they can just pretty much walk through you and you're up to their mercy. Even with the amount of money limited, I just don't see bankruptcy happening for anyone. I feel like I hardly focused on the actual like map until halfway through the video, and then barely even if then. I think Japan is going to be the next to fall. No, they've seized. Oh my god, the frame rate. I think they are going to probably take out Japan next. No, they're taking territory from Brazil still. I think in terms of actual nations, I would be surprised if they didn't seal the deal and take out Japan here. We are now about 1,000 years into the future from real time. If this is foreshadowing the future, maybe it's a good thing we're not mortal. I mean, no matter what side you're on, the whole world is engulfed in war. Like, I don't think you want to be around for that. France somehow still is in this. I really wouldn't say they are. If I were France, though, I would pretend I didn't exist. I would just bury myself under the island, like in a bunker. I would try to, I don't know, set up some sort of sustainable food system, and I would pretend I didn't exist. I would let all of this happen, and I would just pretend I didn't exist. Yeah, I've got a feeling we're about to probably be in another sort of stalemate situation. I'm starting to realize not much has changed. Like, they're claiming the United States and they're claiming Brazil bit by bit, and the United Kingdom fully took Canada. But like, in terms of actual fighting against each other and taking land from each other, not really anything has happened. At least I don't think so. If it has, it's been incredibly painfully slow. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'm gonna come back, and if this still is going, we're just gonna determine the winner based on who's the biggest, because I've been recording for a long time. I've been at 5 times speed for a long time, and if this isn't going anywhere, then it is what it is. You know, I find it interesting that despite Australia being a puppet to the Soviet Union, no, they are taking territory from Australia, but you would have thought by now they would have, like, with the rest of these countries, you would have thought that Australia would be long gone by now, when in fact it is kind of the opposite. Okay, it's been probably 20-25 minutes since I've had it in 5 times speed, and literally we still have 8 nations here. Not much has changed, so yes, Australia is shrinking, but you get the idea. I don't think anything's changing. So I think I'm going to probably call it here as for who's going to win the Soviet Union. And yes, it was the Soviet Union. That was or I guess technically Soviet Union Turkey. That was the winner. Wow, look how silky smooth this is now. That was the winner of I don't know, I guess of the world. I don't know. In second place was the United Kingdom. They made a very good attempt. They took a lot of Africa. They have Europe. They have pretty much all of Canada, some of Asia. They made a really good attempt. They just couldn't quite get through, though, and I think that's because the Soviet Union literally turned like every continent, or almost every continent, into a puppet if it could. In third place is actually the United States, Dominican Republic. They aren't very big, though. All the other nations, the other two are quite large, and then it drops off once you get to the United States, and then once you count the others, it's pretty much a cliff. But we still have Australia, still have South Africa, Japan, actually, they didn't actually take Japan after all. You've got pretty much more of a city than an actual country, Brazil. And then you have really Port Louis. I wouldn't even call this France anymore. I would just call it Port Louis. So yeah, the winner is the Soviet Union. So congratulations to all the people. If you live in any of these countries, congratulations, you made it to the end. Although if you live in the Soviet Union, I don't really know how to give you your award, because they kind of don't exist anymore. That's probably gonna do it for the video. Before I end it off, if you're done watching the video, you can pretty much click off here, but if you're interested in hearing, like I said, I have recently reached 100 subscribers. Thank you all for your support, whether this is like the first video of mine you're watching, or if you've been watching my videos. I appreciate it very, very greatly. I cannot believe I somehow had 100 people misclick the subscribe button, but you know what? I'm not complaining. Wait, I can zoom in with Q and E? What? How long was I able to do that? Hold on, we need someone in a war. Okay, no, it's still pretty bad. It's very, very, very slow. So this is me zooming in. It's very slow. I want to see what it... Okay, yeah, no, it's still pretty bad. It's still pretty bad. It's still pretty bad even when you're slowly trying to zoom in. It's just the frame rate makes you jump around. But then anyways, yeah, I genuinely thank you so much for 100 subscribers. It's crazy to think that I've managed to get to there, and I do plan to live stream, hopefully, if my internet isn't too bad with it. Maybe I'll live stream this game. I don't know. We'll see. It would be an easier game to stream if I have bad Wi-Fi. I'll probably talk less if I live stream this game, so that way it's more of a casual watch thing. I don't know. Anyways, enough of me blabbering on. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, I'll see you later. Goodbye.